Okay, customer service training, May 21st, vocabulary that can help you be more successful on your calls and to communicate much better with your customers. Let's start with the phrasal verb let down. Here's an example. I guarantee we will not let you down, which means we will not disappoint you. We will not disappoint you. Now, let down is a phrasal verb, which means that you can use it in three ways. It's a transitive phrasal verb. Phrasal verbs are followed by an object. Okay? So the first way that you can use let down is to use let down plus the object. For instance, I will not let the customers down. I will not let the customers. I will not let the customers down. So here, or let down the customers. I'm sorry. Let down, that would be the second form. Let down the customers. Okay? So in this form, I will not let down the customers. We have the phrasal verb followed by the object. Immediately followed by the object, which is the customers. Okay? All right. So that's form number one. Form number two is to put in between the verb and the preposition the object, which in this case, it's the customers. So I would say, I'll not let the customers down. Okay? So in this example, we put the object in between. We put the object, the customers, in between the verb let and the preposition down. The third form of using it is, and this is a rule, you can use an object pronoun, but it needs to go in between the verb and the preposition. So, I'll not let, this is a plural form, so I'm going to use the object pronoun them. I will not let them down. So here is the object pronoun, okay? So three forms. One, using the object beside the phrasal verb. Form number two, putting the object in between the verb and the preposition. And number three, using an object pronoun in between the verb and the preposition. The incorrect, this is a common mistake. You cannot put the pronoun next to the phrasal verb. That would be wrong. So this would be incorrect. I will not let down them. I will not let them. I will not let down them is wrong. So the phrase, the pronoun needs to go in between the verb and the preposition. Okay, and that's how you use let down, which means to disappoint. Okay. Here's a great emphatic statement using the adjective anxious. When you're anxious, you're anticipating something to happen, you're expecting something to happen, you're worried about it, you're concerned about it. So it's important to acknowledge the customer's feelings. This is a great conditional phrase to acknowledge the customer and to empathize with them. If I were in your position, I would feel anxious too. Let's say somebody that's expecting a delivery, they're calling you, they're worried about it, they're concerned about it. Just tell the customer, Mr. Customer, if I were in your position, I would feel anxious as well. Okay? So here, anxious is just an adjective form. Here we have the verb feel, and we're using the adjective anxious. Okay? Pronounced anxious. Next example is the use of the word setback. A setback is a noun. So you can quantify it. A setback is one. Many setbacks, we can count them. A setback is just simply a delay, right? So for instance, I realized this was a setback to your plans. Say somebody that didn't receive their item on time or is complaining about X or Y situation, you just acknowledge the fact by saying, I apologize for the setback. We're really sorry for the setback with your delivery, for example. So a setback is a delay. It's spelled as one word, setback, one word, setback. Next on the list is inconvenienced. Here we're using a participle adjective that is a verb in a word with an ed ending. That's going to be an adjective. Inconvenienced means that you feel irritated because of an inconvenience, right? The state of feeling inconvenienced. So here we're using an empathic phrase. I can understand why you would feel inconvenienced. Let's say a customer that is unsatisfied with something. You can just simply acknowledge the customer. Mr. Customer, I can understand why you would feel inconvenienced. So in this sense, we're using it as an adjective and not as the noun, the normal noun. Inconvenience, inconveniences. In this sense, we're using it as an adjective. I am inconvenienced. You are inconvenienced. He feels inconvenienced. Okay? Pronounce the t at the end.
Inconvenienced.
That is correct. Now let's take a look on how to use the word consistency, consistent, and consistently. We'll start off with consistency. Consistency is the noun, the idea of being consistent. Therefore, this is the adjective form. How you perform something, how you perform an action or an activity would be consistently, which would be our adverb. Let's take a look at how to use the three words, okay? But first and foremost, remember that consistency is the quality of always being the same, doing things in the same way, or having standards, okay? Having standards. So we're going to use the word consistent, consistently, consistency to show appreciation to the customer. For instance, let's take a look at this example. We appreciate your consistency and trust for Domino's, right? What does that say? We appreciate your consistency and trust for Domino's. So here it's a noun. Your consistency, okay? And the adjective form would be this. Here's an example. Thank you for being a consistent shopper. Thank you for being a consistent shopper at Amazon. Thank you for being a consistent shopper at Walmart, etc. Right? A consistent shopper. So here we have the adjective consistent, and it's telling us what kind of shopper. What kind of shopper is this? What kind of shopper?
Consistent.
Consistent. Yeah, just bear in mind that adjectives are always going to answer the question, what kind? What kind? What kind of person are you? Consistency or consistent?
Consistent.
Consistent. Exactly. Let's see. So yeah, what kind of person are you? Consistent. So adjectives always answer the question, what kind? Let's take a look at the adverb, consistently. Consistently. Thank you for consistently believing in us. Thank you for consistently believing in us, Mr. Customer. We appreciate your business, right? Consistently believing in us. Here we're using the adverb form. We're going to add this suffix to the word, li, consistently. And it's very easy to use adverbs. Just remember this. Adverbs will always answer the question, how? How? How is something done? How is something performed? How is the activity being, how is the activity done? So here the activity is believing. So how do you believe in us?
Consistently.
Consistently. Let's take a look at the verb shop. So I consistently shop at your store. I consistently shop. Consistently shop.
I consistently shop beer.
Shop for beer. I consistently shop at your store. And then lesser word add for beer here, right? Okay? So here, this is the verb, right? The activity or the action. And remember that adverbs will modify the verb. So the question is, how? How do you shop at the store? How? Answer?
Consistently.
Consistently. All right? So that's how you use it. Consistently shop, consistently purchase, consistently call, consistently service, etc. So there you go. Here's some customer service vocabulary words that you can use for your next interaction. All right. Now it's your turn to give us some examples. Let's check it out. Okay, so
Time to have some food.
here with the customer service vocabulary, and you guys provided your examples for us. Let's take a look at number one. You can rest assured we will not let you down. Let you down. Okay? What would be another form of writing this? Let you down. There are three ways of using this phrasal verb. That's one. Option two. You. What could be you? We could say the customer let down. Let
The customer.
let the customer down, right?
Yeah.
Let me get my blue marker. Let the customer down. Okay. And the third form, let down the customer, right? Let down the customer. So there are three ways of using the phrasal verb. One, with an object pronoun in the middle between the verb and the preposition. Let the customer down with the object in between. This is called the transitive phrasal verb. We separate them. We separate it. And here, with the object next to it. So three ways of using let down. Number two, if I were in your position, I would feel anxious too. Anxious, anxiety. Anxiety is the noun. Anxious is the adjective. So here we're saying feel anxious. This is a great empathic statement. Number three, I can understand this was a setback to your trip. That being said, let me fix it up. I won't let you down. So a setback is a delay. Here you are acknowledging, empathizing with your customer. As a customer, I can understand this was a setback to your plans, to your trip, right, to your business, etc. So it's a delay. Number four, I know that you were inconvenienced by the setback, but I'm going to sort it out ASAP. Inconvenienced here is a participle adjective. A participle adjective will describe the feelings of a person, right? Because of the ed ending. Were inconvenienced. You were inconvenienced by it. Number five, I can see in your account that you're a consistent customer, or perhaps a consistent buyer, or a consistent client. Thank you for your loyalty. So here, the word consistent is the adjective form, which is the quality of being consistent. Remember that using an adjective, to figure out how the adjective works, just ask yourself, what kind? That's it. What kind? So what kind of customer? He's consistent. What kind of buyer? A consistent buyer. What kind of client? A consistent client. Number six, I realize you consistently purchase new accessories for your phone. Consistently purchase. Purchase is the verb, right? And consistently is the adverb. To use the adverb, just ask yourself, how? How is the action performed? How is the action of purchasing performed? How is it performed? Consistently. Consistently buy, consistently shop, or consistently purchase. Okay? And consistency is the noun. It's an abstract noun, which is the idea of being consistent. I appreciate your consistency and loyalty for our store. So here it's consistency. To give you a tip, if you're new to the word consistency, to these type of nouns, try to put in a possessive adjective before it. Your consistency, my consistency, to get you started, or you can use the article, the definite article, to help you start using it. The consistency of your service is awesome. The consistency of your quality is amazing, etc. All right. So there you go. You got customer service vocabulary, phrasal verb let down, anxious, setback, inconvenienced, consistent, consistently. So thank you for coming to the class and participating, guys. I promise we won't let you down. If you feel anxious to learn, that's okay. Sorry for any setbacks. Distance learning can be a little bit tricky. And if you felt inconvenienced, we're very sorry for that. And I hope that you're consistent with your sessions and you consistently practice this with your customers or with yourselves. And I do appreciate your consistency in connecting to your Zoom session. So there you go, customer service vocab. Good job, guys.